When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouthwatering meals. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices. Plus, extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with points. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Honda. When you test drive the new Prologue EV, there's a lot that could impress you about it. There's the class-leading passenger space, the clean, thoughtful design, and the intuitive technology. But out of everything, what you'll really love most is that it's a Honda. Visit honda.com/EV to see offers.
Just a minute, I'm trying to get a page on here.
Yeah, what are you trying to do over there?
Well, okay.
You got the very intense face before you hit the button, so
I can't do it.
Oh.
So you can take us out.
I got it.
So what's wrong with the Timberwolves last night, Myron?
They didn't look good. I mean, they lost by 1 to a Brooklyn Nets team that wasn't even 100%. They got pushed around. To me, they're a really good team, really good offensive team. But like Jimmy Butler is so critical for what they do defensively, and he just needs help. Like yeah. I think they're to the point now. I don't think they're complacent as much as he's so good and he's been so good. It's kind of like pass him the cape, and he'll save the day. And I just think that's a really dangerous attitude for any team, but especially a team with all these young guys. I mean, Brooklyn's a team that's the kind of team that they should beat by double digits in the situation they're in. If they're legitimately a team that can win a playoff series, and they just didn't have him. I mean, Wiggins, there were a lot of plays late he didn't make. Karl Towns defensively continues to struggle. Tyus Jones had a great game. But I just think they're going to be in trouble in the playoffs if they rely so much on Jimmy Butler, especially on the defensive end.
By the time I clicked over to it, all I got was the post game, and I saw the coach talking.
Yeah,
and he amuses me.
Yeah,
as a sulking Hulk, who he reminds me of Belichick.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
That he's monotone, doesn't give you much, and I don't know what to make of him.
I think his reputation is he's a pretty stern coach. I mean, a lot of people in Chicago thought that was kind of his issue. Like he didn't have that kind of warm personality they wanted. But I think that's why Jimmy Butler helps him so much. He has kind of that sort of hardened exterior. And Butler kind of is the guy that allows him to coach that way and not
Butler
be viewed as too
happy.
tough. Oh, I think he's in his
Thibodeau. Is that his name? Thibodeau?
Yeah, I think it's perfect.
He doesn't seem happy at all about anything.
Yeah, I think that's his personality, but I think he's much happier with Gibson and Butler on the roster. He's just trying to get some of those other young guys to get what they have and get some of that toughness. In the game last night, the Nets were literally pushing them around. I mean, at one point, Quincy Acey is throwing elbows and knocking guys to the ground, and they kind of got punked a little bit. Because, again, Jimmy Butler hides a lot of their weaknesses, and he makes them look tougher than they really are.
Okay.
And I just felt like yesterday was a game where they're kind of struggling, and they're just kind of going, well, Jimmy will save us. And he couldn't. And if they think they're going to win a playoff series like that, they got another thing coming.
I wonder if they got to Boston. I wonder if they went last night.
Good question.
Because the bomb cyclone is hitting the East Coast. I think the Bruins game has already been canceled tomorrow night.
They're canceling everything.
And Timberwolves are supposed to play the Celtics tomorrow night. Do we know if that's been canceled?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, it would make sense for them to get there last night.
Yeah, because the airports were closed
everything.
Today.
They're shutting down there. It's a foot of snow or something is coming?
Yeah,
is that what they're saying?
If that, but Dave Dahl just alluded to the fact that it's lessening now and maybe moving offshore, so maybe they'll be spared.
What's lesser than a bomb cyclone? What do we call it? A small bomb?
A
grenade cyclone?
Hand grenade syndrome.
Yeah.
You all see the Washington Post piece?
No. What?
Dear Northerners, please shut up about how well you handle the cold weather.
Really?
Yeah. Dear Northern. Like, here's my thing. It goes both ways. Like, I understand the whole, you get upset that people who deal with this weather kind of brag about how easy it is and how much trouble you're having. At the same time, you see some of these guys trying to prepare for snow, and they shut down life.
Yeah.
They shut down. I took off in a blizzard from MSP. Like, it was like blizzard conditions. We took off in a flight. These guys can't move. A couple inches of snow.
They're paralyzed.
I mean, literally everything. I got friends on Facebook who are who are putting out pictures of snow and saying, can't do anything today. Stuck inside.
Well, you get far enough down, Savannah, Charleston, Tallahassee, they don't have any equipment. They don't have snowplows.
Yeah. Shouldn't somebody have a couple?
Maybe you should keep 2 or 3.
Yeah, like shouldn't somebody have a little bit of salt?
Pole building.
Yeah.
There should be 12 shovels.
Come up here and buy our used ones.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Right.
Why wouldn't you have
Slightly
a couple? I don't understand why you don't have a couple of them.
It's bad planning.
At least salt. They don't have salt.
You think anybody in the state of Florida owns a snowblower?
No.
You wouldn't really need
No.
to. Because even the stuff that fell in Tallahassee, that'll be gone tomorrow or the next day.
But do you know how much money you'd make if you had one and you rented it out?
Yeah.
If you're the guy who bought one?
So you're saying Fratelloni wouldn't make a buck at a store in Tallahassee?
Hey, I
That's
think I just had $1 million
That's a great idea.
Become a snowplower broker in the South.
You're going to
Great.
be the middleman.
Yeah. You need a plow? I'll get you a plow.
They'd use 'em.
I can get you a plow by 3 o'clock.
Or how about a mobile, you'd have a bunch of snow throwers on your truck,
Yeah.
and you would just travel.
Bingo.
You wouldn't be able to use them every week,
No.
but when you need them, they would be
They were
at
there.
a premium. They would be at a premium.
Perfect. Because they pay top dollar right now to get to them.
Heck yes.
Well,
They don't have anything.
the Wild are at home tonight. That game's not at all threatened. They're here. So they're playing. Who are they playing tonight?
Isn't it
Sabres, and they're horrible.
Buffalo.
Yeah, they're horrible. At the bottom of the standings, I think. Right?
They got the Eichel, though. Isn't Eichel supposed to be a world beater?
We don't want to stumble into we don't know anything again. So we're going to be.
No, I know that it's Buffalo.
Buffalo's
Buffalo.
bad. It's Buffalo and they're bad.
Yeah, they are bad, but
And it's the first game when the Wild to be healthy, 100%.
Yeah.
It's the first.
So who sits out? You got Niederreiter back. Parisi's back. I wonder who sits.
I don't know. But they'll win either way. I mean, this is not should be an easy win, you would think.
Well, this is the stretch that they have to win.
Yeah.
Tell us who's coming up to join us.
Caleb Truax, a local boxer at Osseo, Minnesota, who just went over to fight James DeGaulle and won a world super-middleweight championship in a huge, huge, huge upset.
And where was that fight?
They fought in England.
Oh, yeah?
So, he was kind of the guy who was brought in to just be an in-between tune-up guy for this James DeGaulle guy who's a big-time fighter. And Caleb put a whooping on him. Beat him badly and won the decision. And now he set himself up for a really big fight. And what he wants to do, and we'll talk to him about it, is he wants to bring a title fight here.
All right, he's joining us next.
Got him hurt bad. Yeah. Now he's worried. You're cutting. You're hurting. You see? You see? He's not a machine. He's a man.
Back on the show, we have a special guest. He hails from Osseo, Minnesota.
I bet he's never heard this song before. either.
No. Hails from Osseo, Minnesota. Played a couple sports there, football. Got into boxing. Just went overseas a couple weeks ago to London and fought a guy, James DeGaulle, who was the 2008 gold medal winner in those Olympics. Guy who had one previous loss. Caleb Truax was brought in basically as a tune-up guy, and he won. So introducing the IBF super middleweight champion of the entire world, Caleb Truax. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. What's going on?
Good. Let me just tell you something, man. So, I'm a big boxing fan. Caleb is a friend of mine. We have fight parties, and I go over his place, and
Well, you're
nicest guys
basically
in the
taking
business.
credit for his success. Is that what it is, Myron?
I did give him a couple tips before the fight, didn't I, Caleb?
Yeah, you did, man. You did.
Yeah, I said work the jab, but I was watching it, and I was just stunned by how you overwhelmed a guy on his home turf in London. It just seems so confident. Like, where did that come from, man?
Man, I approached that fight like it was the last big opportunity I would ever have. I fought once for the title and came up short in 2015, and most guys, don't get one shot at a title, and even less get 2 shots at a title. And so I approached it like it was the last big shot I was ever going to get, and I just went over there with confidence. My coach, Tom Halstead, drew up a great game plan, and my team they were 100% confident in me. I was confident in myself, and everything just worked, man. It just clicked, and I negated pretty much everything he was able to do, and everything that I tried to do or had a plan on doing before the fight just worked.
You don't seem like the kind of guy who is rattled easily, but he said some things before the fight about looking ahead to his next opponent and planning his future fights. I mean, he looked past you, and it seemed like that upset you. I mean, did that contribute to kind of the energy you brought into the fight?
Yeah, it definitely gave me some bulletin board material, as they say, and fueled my fire a little bit. And I'm. There's always trash talk in press conferences and weigh-ins and stare downs and stuff like that, which is fine. That doesn't upset me because I do it as well, But he really upset me when he was just really dismissive, like not even thinking about me. Basically, he was talking about who he's going to fight next and how much money he's going to make in 2018, and even at the press conference, him and his promoter over there, Frank Warner, are talking about who he wants to match up with next. I'm looking down the table, I'm like, man, you got to fight in 3 days with me. You better worry about me instead of who you want to fight next. And he definitely overlooked me, and it came back to bite him.
Does that delays his payday? What's it do for you?
Well, right now they're talking about a rematch with James DeGale in the spring, hopefully the end of March or start of April. And I thought I was going to end up having to go back to England for a rematch, but it sounds like they might try to do it here in Minnesota, which would be huge, and it'd be on Showtime, I believe. So I'm waiting to get word, and hopefully I'll find out in about the next week or two. But it's safe to say I'll be making a lot more money this time than I did when I went over there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, yeah.
Well, I was going to say,
go, cash in.
Caleb, you ever heard the show before?
Yeah, I have, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, well, that was Rookie. Just blurted out, yeah.
What's up, bro? You want to go? Bring it over. Let's go, bro.
Don't pay any attention to him.
You got a left-handed Polish guy right here. 1-2 punch.
Caleb, the fight's got to be here.
It should be here.
You're in the driver's seat now.
Yeah, the reason why I thought it'd have to be back there is because the market over there is so strong. Boxing is one of their major sports, so I figured that, the pay would be a lot more over there, but it sounds like Showtime wants to do the fight, and hopefully here in Minneapolis. So that would be huge at here at home, and that was one of my goals when I first started boxing, is to bring a championship fight here to Minneapolis, and hopefully we're able to make it happen.
Was the last one Ali versus what's the guy's name?
No, the last big fight here would have been Ledoux and Norton, maybe.
Norton, okay, yeah.
Norton.
So I mean, that could be a special moment, man. If you brought the fight back, and I think you would pack the house.
That wasn't even a championship fight. That was there might have been some title on the line. I think Will Grigsby from St. Paul had a championship fight here at the not Williams Arena, but the Pavilion, I think.
Yeah.
Back in the day with Don King, and there's only been 4 legitimate title holders in Minnesota history. It's been me, Will Grigsby in 1999 and 2000, and then a couple guys, Mike O'Dowd and Johnny Ertl back in the 1915 or 1920, something like that.
So I always wondered about the belt. I know there's sort of a replica belt that I think you kind of have when you're there, but do they give you your own? How does it work? Where's the belt? Do you have the official belt now in your possession?
Yeah, I have it now. It's kind of funny story. So each fighter gets a belt. You get to keep it forever. Now I have that one. I'll be able to keep it forever. And so when I fought DeGale in England, he brought his belt to the fight, and he carries it out, and shows it off or whatever. And so after the fights, after the decision's done, the IBF coordinator, Eddie Cotton, gives it to me. This is your belt, you won, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm taking pictures with it in the ring, and he comes up to me after about 5 minutes, and he's like, all right, we got to take that belt and give it back to DeGale. It's his. I'm like, what are you talking about? I just won.
I'm not giving up my belt.
This is my belt, man. You can't have that. But yeah, they mailed it out. They mailed me out my own a week later, so I got it, and I get to keep it forever.
That's cool that you get to keep it. I didn't know that, man. That you get to keep it forever. If you get a chance to fight here, and I don't know if you'd fight. I don't know if it'd be Target Center or wherever. First off, I want to make sure you let me walk out with you because I've always wanted to do that. That's always been a dream of mine.
Why in the hell would he let you walk out with
I'll
him?
carry something.
Hey, buddy.
I'll carry something.
Part of the posse.
Yeah, I want to be in the posse behind you. That Showtime catches me walking behind you, and I have a mean face on like I'm a boxer too. I want to be able to do that. But for you,
I just want to be a ring boy, so let me know. I don't know if they do that.
No,
but
I don't.
No, they
show
don't.
the ring.
They don't. They want ring girls.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I didn't know how far we've come in boxing yet. But
I don't think we're there. But what would it be like for you as a guy who has fought everywhere? Been overseas, you fought everywhere from casinos to big-time arenas, but like having a fight like that at home, what would that mean to you?
It'd be, like I said, that was one of my original goals. I've had some big fights, like some ESPN fights here at the Target Center, at the Convention Center, but nothing that would be this huge. You know, I imagine we get a ton of attention nationally and internationally now that I have a big following in London, and the guy I'd be fighting is from London, so it would be huge, man. It'd be great to fight in front of all my fans that have been so loyal and my family, friends, and it's something that I really, really hope can be made. And I don't have to go all the way back over to England.
Caleb, how old are you now?
I'm 34.
How's your health?
I'm doing real well. For a sport that's as tough as boxing, I've been pretty fortunate where I haven't had too many injuries. A few broken bones here and there, but nothing serious. And I started late. I didn't start till I was 19 years old, so I don't have a lot of the wear and tear that a lot of the guys have on who've been fighting for however many more years. A lot of the guys that I fight with have been boxing since they are, 8 years old, and they had, hundreds of amateur fights, where I only had like 30 amateur fights or 35 amateur fights, and now 30-something pro fights. So I don't have a lot of mileage on the odometer, but at the same time, I'm getting old, man. It's not coming as easy as I used to. I can't lose the weight like I used to, and a little bit sore when I wake up in the morning after tough workouts, whereas before I could just keep on rolling.
You think boxing is going to regain the heyday of, say, 30 years ago?
I don't know if it'll ever get back to what it was there, just because it didn't have as much competition back then with the NFL, just not being as big. But it's definitely 2017 was an awesome year for boxing. There were some great matchups, and there's already some good ones on the books for 2018, and my advisor, Al Heyman, he and Premier Boxing, they're doing big things with fights on free TV like Fox and NBC and stuff like that. So that's always good to get, more casual people watching where they don't have to pay for it on Showtime or pay-per-view or HBO. So I think it's definitely going the right direction.
For people who don't know, Al Heyman is the boxing guru of the current landscape. I mean, he's the guy connected to Mayweather, drove Mayweather's career. I mean, if there's a big fighter right now, Al Heyman is connected to him. So that's obviously a huge deal. Speaking of Floyd Mayweather, did the Floyd Mayweather-Conor McGregor fight help or hurt the game, do you think, boxing?
I don't. A lot of people going into that fight were saying it was a sideshow, which I thought it was. I mean, it was a joke that they were even able to get it sanctioned, but they were saying that it was going to hurt the sport, and I don't think it hurt it at all. I mean, I think the numbers just came out. There was like 4.3 million pay-per-view buys, and it was a huge spectacle, even though it was kind of a foregone conclusion who was going to win in my mind, and anybody that knows boxing's mind. But no, I mean, anytime you get all those viewers and all that attention to a sport, it can't hurt. It wasn't negative attention or anything like that. It was just it was on all front page news for months. So I don't think there's any way it could have hurt the sport.
I agree, man. Hey, definitely want to thank you for your time, man. Really appreciate it as always. The champion, Caleb Truax. We'll be back after this.
Here's John Height.
Thank you, Joe. We are at 1 above 0 in the Twin Cities. Gophers Big Ten win over Illinois last night, 77-67. The Gophers now 13-3 on the season, 2-1 in the Big Ten. The Gophers will play Indiana on Saturday. Wild at home tonight. They are playing Buffalo at the Xcel Energy Center. News notes from today. Preliminary data show 2017 was the third least deadly year on Minnesota roads since 1924. According to the State Department of Public...
No, since 1943 and then 1926, which is what I read. You might have a different account.
Well, it represented the lowest total since 43
Yep.
and 26.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I find that amazing. I don't know why that's not a front page story.
Yeah.
I think it was today, wasn't
John, I really screwed you up, didn't I?
I think it was. Wasn't it
On what site?
On the Star Tribune?
I found it on B3 of the Metro.
Oh, perhaps that's where I saw it too then. Never mind. The state has kept an official...
We can't even get that right.
Man,
What the hell are you guys even talking about?
Hey,
Kenny, the traffic deaths in Minnesota for 2017 were the lowest or the fewest since 1943.
Well, we'll change that this year. Don't worry.
You know what's...
Well, I'm not looking to change it.
Turn
You don't
things
wanna
around
win.
here right away.
What's depressing about that whole thing right there, I brought that story in specifically for the traffic guy.
He doesn't care, does
And
he?
he just said, what the hell are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
Kind of PO'd at the crew here that guaranteed me a victory last night for our Timberwolves. I'm looking at one.
How much
here.
did you put down?
yeah.
Looking at another knucklehead over here with his mouth agape, and I already rode Manny's ass for about 10 minutes.
Did you parlay that with the over? Or is that
These
what you lost?
dumbbells
Did you buy 'em dinner
promised
first?
me a victory. Now, if I was the gambling type, you guys would be missing a knee right now.
Yeah, Frankie the Fish would make a visit, wouldn't he?
What the hell? How do they go in there and lose that?
We were just talking about it earlier. I think they're in a mode where they're just waiting for Butler to save the day in those situations. I mean, that's how they played the entire fourth quarter.
Well, didn't he have the last shot?
He did.
And it didn't go in.
It didn't go in, but they were playing as if he'll find a way to bail us out.
That's
That's no
confidence.
way to. That's not. Come on, guys.
They're not good enough to do that.
It's kind of like Kenny during the 3:30 to 4 half hour.
Yeah.
He's kind of waiting on Johnny Hyde or Joe or Reavers to kind of come through and make it entertaining.
What I'm waiting on is the clock for this to be over with. Same goes with my career, by the way. God, can it just be over, please?
Oh, God.
I feel sorry for everybody who comes in here, like Myron, and they got to think, what the hell is wrong with you people?
Dysfunctional.
What a dysfunctional group of people.
I love it.
Speaking of traffic, one woman arrested after leading police on a car chase through South Minneapolis early this afternoon. A Minneapolis police spokesperson said officers began to chase a stolen vehicle at Chicago Avenue South and East 35th Street at about 1:15.
Holy crap, that's almost my hood.
During the chase, both parked and moving vehicles were damaged. The chase ended in a crash where Hennepin and Lyndale Avenues intersect at I-94 in the Lowry Hill neighborhood. Woman taken into custody on warrants. A male passenger in the car was not arrested. A story, Joe, I know you love the post office, as do I.
Oh, I just live for it.
Yeah,
Jack.
you're going to hate this story, then. Sorry. A Polk County mailman has pleaded guilty to a count of second-degree burglary in connection to an incident on his postal route in February.
No.
22-year-old Brian Lewis George Chapman entered the amended plea as part of a plea agreement today. He had pleaded not guilty to that count and a count of bestiality in March.
Ooh,
what?
Took on the neighbor dog? Or?
Well, you're exactly correct. There,
Oh, no.
Chapman had been caught on garage surveillance footage engaging in an act with a dog.
A mailman?
On his postal route.
How is the dog?
No. Sit still, Rover.
Careful.
Polk County, Minnesota?
Yeah, that's correct.
Pennington, Pine, Pipestone, Polk, and Pope are your P counties.
Was the mailman wearing a mirrored bald helmet?
Was the dog checking its watch?
I heard it was very rough.
Oh, my goodness.
What the hell is wrong with us?
I'm glad you put it that way, Reavers. On this side of the glass, we're fine.
Chapman has a sentencing
Got a
hearing.
lot of questions.
That's
March
a bad deal
29th.
for the mailman.
It really is.
Well, actually, worse
What
for the
about
dog.
the dog?
Nobody cares about the
The
dog.
dog didn't sign up for that either,
This
did he?
man's best friend
Yeah.
thing is a bunch of BS.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be chasing you, but I didn't know this would happen when I caught you.
Why would a dog be wearing a watch?
Oh, my goodness.
White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders facing questions again today for the second day in a row about
What
President.
kind of dog, I wonder?
I'm not sure.
I mean, I think that, no, seriously, that's,
No, I think you're
reporting
right.
isn't what it used to be. That's a crucial fact.
Second day in a row about
You
President.
want to head over there and find out?
No,
It could be a real gong show.
I mean, what if it was a little corgi or something? Some little poor little animal.
It's all bad.
a one-hander.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I gotta go home.
Well, what
What'd you expect was going to happen?
Why the
when
hell
brought
did you
this
do
up?
the story?
Well, it was pertinent to the
post office.
To the post office. There you go. Thank you.
Oh, my God.
Anyway.
20 more where that.
Yeah, there is.
All day long.
White House Press Secretary
One-hander.
You're not here for the mail, are you?
Right.
White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders facing
See
questions.
the dog
I
going
don't
to the
wanna
post
see the
office.
dog, okay?
No, the dog's putting the stamp on it, sending him, so hopefully he'll come by again tomorrow. Boy, I hope Jim comes by with my parcel.
You're not here for the mail.
No. Sarah Sanders facing questions again today about President Trump's mental fitness to serve as president.
I have a question about that, John.
Yes.
Did you read that it was either a Harvard or a Yale psychiatrist weighed in?
I did see that.
Yeah. Doesn't that violate the sacred oath or what? Don't you take an oath as a doctor or a shrink that you don't offer a prognosis for somebody you haven't examined?
Good question. But he was invited apparently by members of Congress.
No, it's a she.
A she, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah,
To
but
come
she
and-
didn't examine Trump.
No, she gave her opinion
Yeah.
just from his actions or whatever.
I thought they were not allowed to do that.
That I don't know. I don't know at all. Anyway, Sanders saying it's disgraceful and laughable. If he was unfit, he wouldn't be sitting here, wouldn't have defeated the most qualified group of candidates the Republican Party has ever seen. The questions came in the wake of that picture painted of the president in Michael Wolff's book, Fire and Fury, inside the Trump White House. Sanders said the book is complete fantasy and characterized it as sad and pathetic.
If the material about Trump's diet is true, he really never has learned how to enjoy his money when it comes to dining. He just eats junk.
Well,
He eats junk.
I also heard
He's got all the money in the world. He can have a chef.
But I
Well, they
also
got a
heard an
chef.
account where he is paranoid of being poisoned. He has a serious paranoia about that. So going to McDonald's, it's all made already.
But they have there's a guy though in the White House. There's a taste tester. You know that?
I did not know.
There's a guy.
Wait a minute.
He's got to eat the stuff first.
Seriously, there's a guy
Hey, when
whose
you
job-
retire, and I'm fired immediately like 30 seconds
You'd love
after
that job.
I'm going to the White
There's
House.
a guy who travels everywhere with every president, and his job is to eat the food,
I did
sample
not
the
know that.
food before the
Yeah,
president.
but you know what that means,
eats.
Rook. If it's poison, you're a goner.
I'd be like,
Well, you signed
it's
up
really
for it.
bad.
I mean, it's
Filet
like a-
tenderloin. Oh, don't eat this.
But there's
And
got to
I'd
be
go
some
down.
pride in it too, I would think.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Cheated death again.
Here we go.
Exactly. It is so cold in Florida.
How cold is it, John?
Iguanas are falling from their perches in trees.
Wow.
Temperatures dipped below 40 degrees Fahrenheit early today.
That's a good one.
That immobilizes the green iguanas that are common in the region.
What town, John?
This was in, South Florida. It doesn't have a town,
Really?
just South Florida.
That's not a good sign.
So they freeze and they can't move. They're immobilized. They
Right.
fall out of the tree on the ground. They're still immobilized.
Huh.
But if they stay in the sun,
Yeah,
they will thaw out.
sure.
That's a problem for some well-meaning residents because if you pick up the stiffened iguana and then it thaws out,
And you're a postal worker.
It's your happy day.
it could
for one.
It could bite you. The
That's
iguana
what Ted
could
Williams
bite you.
wished for, isn't it?
What's that?
To be frozen and then thaw.
Yeah.
out.
he did.
Chirogenics.
Yeah.
But his head, remember his
Why'd
head,
Yeah, they're
you
going
pick
to
up a
attach it
frozen
to something
iguana?
else. Yeah.
it fell
Yeah, I
off.
wouldn't. I'd leave it
Why'd you
live.
pick up a frozen iguana?
No, don't risk it.
Those things are scary looking, man.
John?
Yes.
Already?
Are we done?
Yeah. For now.
We usually get to start this segment with a local story, but I do have a local story today. A driver with their eyes reportedly cast on a rainbow was injured yesterday when their vehicle rear-ended the back of a 40,000-pound milk truck in Belle Plaine. State Patrol spokesperson Lieutenant Tiffany Nelson said the incident occurred at around 4:31 in the afternoon on Highway 169 in Blakely Trail. The driver admitted to looking at a rainbow at the time of the crash. She was taken to the hospital in Arlington with what were termed as non-life-threatening injuries. The driver of the milk truck was not injured.
Do we know what type of milk was being hauled in the milk truck?
Was it skim milk, Rook? What do you think?
I think it
chocolate?
might have been. Well, if it was whole milk, it would have been a lot thicker.
There's no rainbows in the winter.
But more importantly, that's what we
the
want to
weird
know
part.
about what kind of rainbow it was.
Double rainbow. Oh my God.
The Sundog rainbows, Kenny.
Yeah, it's one of those winter deals.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Whoa, that's a full rainbow. All the way. Double rainbow. Oh my God.
Has Jeff Sessions outlawed double rainbows yet?
Pretty bitter about this, aren't you, Kenny? Felipe Rodriguez.
Don't bait me, John.
I'm sorry. Felipe Rodriguez. This brings up a subject a couple years ago we talked about a lot. Felipe Rodriguez says he thought he was hallucinating when an eagle snatched his sister's little white dog from her yard, flapped its massive wings, and disappeared over the trees.
There you are, a nest full of collars.
See?
It's a true story.
Zoe is an 8-pound Bichon taken by the raptor Tuesday afternoon, not 50 feet from his sister's house on the banks of the Lehigh River.
And delivered it to the postman.
I think in Pennsylvania.
He just perched all like this.
The eagle dropped it, though.
Oh, he got my order.
Rodriguez said it was something like something from The Wizard of Oz. I'm a city boy. I don't ever see this kind of thing happening. Lori Goodrich, biologist at nearby Hawk Mountain Sanctuary, said it has been documented before, but not very often. Says right now there's scarce food and waterways are freezing up and raptors are looking for more food. Rodriguez said he was by himself at his sister's house about 80 miles north of Philadelphia, and Zoe was in a fenced yard when he heard a loud screech, hurried to the door, and looked out.
See you later.
Rodriguez said the bird was holding on to the dog, and then it was gone.
Oh, man.
He drove around the neighborhood looking for the Bichon.
Of course, the guy thinks of the Wizard of Oz, which is the witch holding a monkey.
Right. A monkey,
flying monkey.
exactly. His sister and family were devastated when they found out. This will have a happy ending, though. Hang on. Apparently, it's not unusual to see eagles, she says.
Still doing the mailman story?
No, this is a different one now. She and her husband scoured the woods looking for Zoe's body. Zoe was rescued by 51-year-old Christina Hartman, who said she was driving on the snow-covered back road, spotted a furry white lump ahead, and pulled out to investigate. It was the dog, she said, frozen with icicles hanging and shivering.
Oh, wow.
Going, what the hell just happened?
She scooped up the whimpering pooch, wrapped her in a blanket, took her home, feeding the dog.
There's a postman
Right.
joke coming.
You know, the guy was just delivering the mail, and I didn't know what the hell happened.
Joe,
Yes.
the dog had
Yeah.
no collar on when she found it. So the eagle took
Well,
the
it's in
collar.
the nest.
Put
It's
it
in
in
the
the
nest full of collars.
with all the other
They're
collars.
pretty lucky
That's right.
because the first thing those birds do is eat the head off.
Yeah,
and
they attack
I'm
right
not
away.
kidding you
Really?
at all. That's the very first thing they do is take the head off.
I wonder why the dog was free, John.
Probably
must
wouldn't
have
shut up.
Probably dropped it, huh? I would think.
Yeah.
I
They
had
can
a few,
hold big animals.
Yeah.
And they're strong.
few missing patches of fur on Zoe and some bruises. Not clear how far the eagle might have carried the dog, but the dog will be fine, although the owner says Zoe doesn't want to go out in the yard anymore.
How was the dog reunited with the owner?
The Facebook, I'm sorry, I left
see.
that part out. The woman who found it started looking on Facebook, immediately saw that the dog was
Such,
missing.
at one point, I was walking a trap line in my snowshoes with snow up to my shoulders, and a hawk flew over with a muskrat in its mouth.
Oh, yeah.
I yelled at it. It frightened the hawk, dropped the muskrat. That muskrat did not have a head on it.
Really?
Yeah. It was really cool. It was fun.
Yeah.
What'd you do with the trap line?
Well,
He's going to punch him.
I don't know what a trap line is.
Kenny's going to jump over there and strangle you, Rook.
Did you get the bear?
If you go to YouTube, you can see these videos of these big raptors in the mountains picking up like goats.
They could pick up a deer.
I mean, it's crazy.
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I got a story here. I wish Patrick was here for this one because Teresa Raleigh's been at a Michigan retirement community for the past 15 years and celebrated her 104th birthday on Monday. You know what she says one of the keys is to her long life?
Diet Coke.
Diet Coke. That's correct.
Really?
She says, I drink it because I like it. She said she was going shopping, in fact, yesterday because she needed more Diet Coke. She said, I have a bag full of empty Diet Coke cans and I need to return to get more. She said she drinks at least one can of Diet Coke each day, and she
Well,
thinks...
that's nothing. Pat drinks about 10.
Was the old gal actually driving herself?
Well,
That's my concern.
She said she was going to the store. Who knows who's taking
Oh,
her?
do I enjoy it? Oh, sure. I stretch my legs, my hands, my toes.
Rowley said, I'm surprised I'm 104. It doesn't seem like I should be that old. I figured when I turned 101, I'd pass away at any time, but I still haven't.
So did we, Grandma.
Challenge to state fairs all around the country. A half-ton of butter has been transformed into a sculpture celebrating Pennsylvania's dairy industry, heralding the start of the state's 102nd farm show. Ag Secretary Russell Redding said the sculpture unveiled highlights the careers and roles the dairy industry plays in the state. Sculpture features renderings of a cow and a farmer, an agronomist, a milk processor, and a shopper with a basket full of products. The butter came from waste scrap butter unsuitable for human consumption. After the show, the sculpture will be taken to a farm and turned into energy in a methane digester.
No butter is suitable for human consumption.
You don't eat butter at all.
Just dreadful.
Get the butter.
Dreadful.
He called me. Remember that one Sunday you called me? We were having pot roast and mashed potatoes, and he made it a point to say no gravy and no butter.
Right.
You are the whitest cracker I have ever met in my life. My God.
What is wrong with you?
Who comes up with butter structures? Who gets that idea?
That happens at fairs.
That happens here, too. State fair here. Joe, do you eat toast ever?
Sure, with jelly.
With jelly, but not with butter.
I like
no butter.
You're missing out.
No butter.
Interesting.
You are a strange man.
Mm-hmm.
Danish.
I don't like the concept.
It's natural. There's no concept.
Oh, yeah, it's greasy.
Farmers eat it, and they live to be 95.
Oh, that's because they eat bacon.
Which has no grease or any
that's not a problem at all.
Right.
In Bangkok, Thailand, a clinic there has drawn 100 men a month to its swimsuit area whitening service, if you know what I'm saying. The Lelux Hospital.
Like a Crest white strip or something?
Where do you put that?
Lelux Hospital, renowned for its body whitening expertise in a country obsessed with skin color, began offering the unconventional treatment 6 months ago after a male customer complained of dark parts on his groin. These days, a lot of people are asking about it, according
to set the clocks back.
No. I told you. Lisa?
The manager, Buntita Watanosiri, said they get about 100 clients a month who come and ask the procedure. It uses a laser whitening.
Nope.
Got wide play on Thai television and social media.
And the purpose of this is what, John?
To lighten the
They do a lot of bleaching.
Area?
They do a lot of bleaching there.
Exactly.
So there's a culture there. Right? It's a lot of bleaching.
They want to look just like you, Joe.
I don't know anything about that.
Buntita said we have to be very careful because it's a very sensitive part of the body.
I would say so.
She said they use a very small laser.
That's enough.
Yeah. Well, John, I don't know what to make of that. That's Thailand is where that the
hairy gal,
the gal was that now has discovered a hairy shaver.
Right. The Thai model.
Myron Medcalf is filling in for Patrick on the ride. We've already met Caleb Truax, at least we did by audio version. What else do you have coming up?
Obviously more Vikings, of course. We're going to talk some of that T-Wolves about what happened last night. I think that was a disappointing loss for them. Little Gophers basketball, they struggled a bit, got the win against a bad Illinois team. And, yeah, we'll go from there.
The Gophers, when I glanced at it, were up by 5.
Yep.
And Illinois looked terribly serious about staying in it.
Yeah.
And then I didn't see the end. So
they pulled away.
The Gophers must have got terribly serious about pulling away.
They pulled away, but, I mean, Illinois started 1 for 19.
Really?
And I felt like that was kind of the game where you can win by 20. And they were struggling a bit. So Minnesota has some depth issues right now. So.
And Timberwolves are in Boston. We don't know if that game will be played tomorrow night.
Sounds like that snowstorm could cancel a lot of things.
If they hadn't gotten to Boston, we would have heard that.
Well, all I know is if the crew is there and the teams are there, that they'll play. You know, I mean, I've been to a game that was like that in the snowstorm.
1500 ESPN is KSTP, St. Paul, Minneapolis. It's 1.